special welcome to those who watch the Bills play the Jets tonight, the Dodgers play the Mets tonight. I can assure you no work got done here today. We're all watching TV all day. This is going to be the worst monologue you've ever seen. But it is a nice diversion after what feels like the longest election campaign of all time. As of tomorrow, we are 3 weeks from Election Day. We are in the somebody please put Trump in a home stretch of this thing. Hannibal Lecter is getting more erratic every day. Somehow he still has almost half the country on his side. I don't know how. It was a messy weekend for Donald Trumpster, human dumpster. He said, he made many statements. He said Democrats want to ban windows. He said Democrats want to ban cows. He called America an occupied country. He threatened to withhold federal aid for California wildfires in the future if Governor Newsom doesn't do what he says. He again bragged about not using a teleprompter while reading from a teleprompter. It's hard to believe that anyone is going along with this, but he got a big crowd in Aurora, Colorado, where the MAGA-faithful assembled to bask in the glow of their dear misleader and to denounce the woman who dares to run against him.
Camilla, you can't fake it and make it to be the United States president. You may have faked it and made it since day one, but you know what? Why did Hillary Clinton not become America's first woman president in 2016? Because when she was Secretary of State, look at Benghazi. What the was she doing? And Camilla, you.
Powerful testimony.
Yes, powerful indeed. Almost as powerful as the antipsychotic medication that woman forgot to take before the interview. Whoever Camilla is, had better watch her back because Trump was in Aurora to double down on his thoroughly debunked claims that the city's been overrun by Venezuelan street gangs. The Republican mayor of Aurora said the city has not been occupied by migrant gangs. He said Trump's claims were grossly exaggerated and have unfairly hurt the city's identity and sense of safety, but he doesn't care about anyone's safety. Donald Trump only cares about one big fat orange thing, him. He wants us to shudder with terror anytime we see anyone who looks even slightly different. Donald Trump's newest vision of MAGA is to make America Germany in the 1930s again.
Kamala has imported an army of illegal alien gang members and migrant criminals from the dungeons of the third world to prey upon innocent American citizens. They're very, very, very sick with highly contagious disease, and they're let into our country to infect our country. These people are the most violent people on earth, and they're bringing drugs, and they're bringing crime, and they're rapists.
And that's a man who knows rapists, I'll tell you that. Better than anybody. Trump said if elected, he will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. If you're not familiar with that one, the last time it was used was to set up Japanese-American internment camps during World War II. This is not a healthy individual. You know, Kamala Harris released her medical information over the weekend. According to the White House doctor, the vice president is in excellent health, other than seasonal allergies, mild nearsightedness, and hives. Gee, I wonder what could be giving her hives. Trump has not released his medical report. He has not released his medical report. He's not released his tax returns, his health care plan. He hasn't released his sports bra for months. But he was up at 1:12 a.m. posting, I believe it is very important that Kamala Harris pass a test on cognitive stamina and agility. The guy who's up in the middle of the night reading tweets about himself wants to give someone else a cognitive test. Pretty sure we all watched her ace that test when she handed you your tangerine ass in the debate, but I do want to say, I am all for it. I like the idea. Let's do it. Let's have you both take a cognitive test live on television. We'll stack up 1,000 tests. You can pull one out of the pile, and you and Kamala take the same. That way, there's no chance of shenanigans. Come on, you've got a bigly brain. Your brain is the bigliest. You've told us that so many times. If you're too scared to debate again, I dare you to take a cognitive test against the vice president. Let's see how you do. You can charge people for it if you want. Make it a pay-per-view. I will pay you $49.99 to watch that. But he won't. He will not. He won't even release his blood pressure. Still no medical report from a doctor for Trump, but his communications director, Stephen Chung, said Trump is in, quote, perfect and excellent health. And if there's any guy who knows what perfect and excellent health looks like, it's Stephen Chung. Reminds me of a young Hugh Jackman in a lot of ways. Ever since she embarrassed him in the debate, Trump has doubled down on insulting Kamala Harris's intelligence. He calls her low IQ. He called her mentally disabled. And according to the failing New York Times, at a dinner with some of his donors, he said the vice president was, quote, retarded. Well, man, when they go low, they go real. Trump's like a mole person tunneling his way to China. And when he gets there, he's going to visit the place where they print his God Bless the USA Trump Bibles. You know, we learned over the weekend from this new book by Bob Woodward that Trump's former chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Mark Milley, said Donald is, quote, the most dangerous person to this country and fascist to the core, which is a strong... I mean, where would he get an idea like that?
I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within, not even the people that have come in and destroying our country. By the way, totally destroying our country. The towns, the villages, they're being inundated. But I don't think they're the problem in terms of election day. I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
Just a former president suggesting he'll use the military against his fellow citizens for exercising their freedom of speech. Nothing to worry about, folks. Seriously, when is he going to grow that little mustache already? Because if there's only 3 weeks left, you got to get started. You can't, it doesn't just appear. It's, for whatever reason, and this is mind-boggling, Trump, according to the polls, has doubled his support among black American men, and he couldn't wait to tell all the white people who came to see him in Reno about it.
And my numbers with the black, and especially black men, I love black men. I love them. I love them. I have gone through the roof with black men. Black men.
All right, as long as they don't try to live in one of my buildings, I love black men. Trump was in Prescott, Arizona yesterday alongside fellow election denier Kari Lake. Kari Lake is way behind. She's running against Ruben Gallego for Senate in Arizona. She had a terrible debate against Gallego, one that was widely mocked by everyone who wasn't watching on Donald Trump's TiVo.
I watched your debate, though, at about 3 o'clock in the morning. I watched that debate. It's, you know, the TiVo or its equivalent. I give it the greatest invention in history, TiVo or its equivalent. I watched your debate due to that kind of thing that we can do nowadays. You destroyed that poor guy.
Now, I watched this clip from that debate. I don't know that Kari Lake destroyed Ruben Gallego, but she did do some serious damage to the English language when she was asked about IVF.
So I want to go to the U.S. Senate and pass the most pro-family legislation. I want to make sure that UVF is protected. I have many friends who are here. They're my friends today because of UVF. And I have many of my friends who have had children and experienced the joy of motherhood and parenthood because of UVF. Yeah,
UVF. That's when the sun shines on the uterus. It can give the babies a sunburn. And you have to be careful. She UVF'd that up pretty good, didn't she? But no one mispronounces better than Donald Trump. At that rally in Prescott, he was attempting to say the word Assyrians, and instead, this came out.
Also, we have many Azerasians.
Yes, we love the Azerasians, and we love black men. Kanye West also played Coachella on Saturday. No one knows why he's campaigning in Southern California, where he's about as popular as deep vein thrombosis. But he held a rally in Coachella, which is outside of Palm Springs. He rambled for more than 80 minutes in the 100-degree heat. And then after the rally, the crowd was transported to the venue on buses. Afterwards, they cut off the bus service, so people had to walk through the desert for 2 hours to get back to their car. Could there be a more perfect metaphor for what 4 more years of Donald Trump will be like? than him stranding his own supporters in the desert. There were conflicting reports on why the buses didn't show up. Some said the local gas stations ran out of fuel. Others claimed the buses were sabotaged. But this firsthand video from a Trump supporter gives you a good idea of what went on.
This isn't normal. Apparently the buses are no longer coming, or at least there used to be like 20 buses when we were being brought here, but now there's only like 3 buses operating, and it's an absolute, it's just chaos, absolute chaos.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
That's right. Promises made, promises kept. You know, Coachella is not far. It's only about 2 hours from here. We don't get many Trump rallies in these parts, so we decided to send a crew to ask Trump supporters about these issues that seem to have them so upset. Issues like critical race theory, fracking, socialism, Marxism, DEI, all the hot-button topics that get the Trumpers so riled up. And this is what we learned.
Go Trump! Yeah.
We're trying to get a feel for people where they stand on the issues. Do you believe schools should be teaching critical race theory?
No.
Why not?
I feel like, honestly, it brings about more racism, bringing more issues around that don't need to be.
What is critical race theory for people that don't understand it?
See, I really don't even know. I'm assuming. Can you explain it a little bit to me, honestly?
Yeah. Do you think Americans should ban fracking?
No.
You don't?
No.
Do you feel strongly about fracking?
That's a good question.
Not to drill this point home, but people that are involved in fracking, what are they doing?
I don't know.
Do you think Trump or Harris would be better for the GDP?
Well, Trump's going to be better at anything than her. She can't even speak, let alone look at you. I mean, yeah, she's not good for anything.
In terms of the GDP, do you think she has an understanding of what it is? Do you think she could even define it?
Probably not.
Can you?
No.
Do you think we need to keep socialism out of the government?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. Don't end up like Canada. No.
How about Marxism?
Marxism? No.
You don't think we should?
Nah.
For people that don't understand Marxism, how would you even describe it to them?
Marxism, it's putting a point on somebody that, yeah, it's kind of a judgment thing. It's kind of basically, it's a stereotype.
Right. Do you believe the deep state needs to be stopped?
Deep state. Yeah, but how do you do it? Who knows? It's like saying we need to sweep the sand at the beach. I mean, you know.
What is the deep state?
Good question. Do you know it? I don't know. I've never met them yet. They're real secretive, the some bitches.
A lot of people have conflicting feelings about DEI. What's your main takeaway?
You know, DEI, I think it's a good thing as long as you don't misuse it. When you misuse it, then I think it's a bad situation.
What is it? What does it stand for?
The DEI?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I don't know.
Do you think we should ban DEI?
That's debatable. Very debatable.
Very debatable. And what is it for people that don't know?
About the DEI?
Yeah.
I just think it's too corrupted, or at least that's what is projected, is that it's very corrupted.
What is it?
That's a good question. What is it to you?
What is it to me? I mean, it's pretty much the acronym what it stands for, I think. You know?
The DEI?
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's what it is, I
That's
think.
what it is. It is what it is.
It is.
And it is those 3 letters.
Yeah.
Do you think we should ban DEI?
I think so.
You do?
I think so. I think that we should take control over everything. I mean, Donald Trump needs to rearrange everything.
Including DEI?
Everything.
For people that don't understand, what is DEI?
Well, they need to really dig in and find out what it is.
Everybody
You know,
needs to figure
everybody
it out.
eats hamburgers, but nobody knows where the meat is coming from. So find out what kind of meat you're eating.
It's cows.
But
And that's what the DEI is.
exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
That's right. So anyway, vote, okay?